Hello again, and a very warm welcome to Sunday Thoughts from Ardtray and Desert Crate. Today marks the start of the church's year. It's the first Sunday in the season of Advent, and as you can see, we're all lit up here with wreaths and candles and little lights that pierce the darkness. We're recording this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's strangely dark, but we do talk about the dark days before Christmas. The lights are certainly on in Cookstown, and the village tree is looking lovely in Tullyhog. I haven't checked Stewartstown yet, but I soon will. And the reason for all this in church is that we've been recording some music videos for you. Long before COVID-19 changed the whole course and shape of the year 2020 for all of us, we had planned to do a festival of carols based here at Desert Crate. And the plan was to involve bands and choirs and children and musicians and the whole community. Now, we can't do it the way we hoped we would be able to do it for you, but we're still going to do an online version, and we're going to be putting some Christmas music on CD that we're currently recording, and that's for those who aren't able to follow us online. We're really grateful to our friends in Mid-Ulster Council for helping us financially with our Festival of Carols. And the plan is that in the few days before Christmas, we'll be posting a couple of very short, sort of 10-minute videos with maybe 2 carols and a thought for the day or an interview or something like that. So watch out for those just before Christmas. As you know, our churches are closed now for 2 Sundays, and we'll see how it goes after that. The main thing is that we do everything we can possibly do to keep each other safe. Toy Sunday for our own church members is going to be on Sunday the 13th of December, and God willing our churches will be open and we'll be able to bring toys. And the plan is we ask those who are able to do so to bring a new unwrapped toy, leave it in church, and they will then be distributed by local charities to families with small children who are struggling financially at Christmas. And goodness knows there'll be an awful lot more families struggling financially this year. So we want to do anything we can to help them. Here's our reading for today, read by Russell.
The reading is from Matthew chapter 1, beginning at verse 18. This is how the birth of Jesus Christ came about. His mother Mary was pledged in marriage to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be with child through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was a righteous man and was unwilling to disgrace her publicly, he resolved to divorce her quietly. But after he had pondered these things, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to embrace Mary as your wife, for the one conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet. Behold, the virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. This is the word of the Lord.
Many thanks to Russell. Every year at the end of November, I find myself debating with friends about when is the right time to do certain Christmassy things. When is the right time to put up your tree? Some of you have already trees up. I don't like putting up a tree at home until about the 15th of December. It's time enough for me. And then our tree stays up until the 12th day of Christmas. When is the right time to eat turkey? I'd say all year round. When is the right time to sing Christmas songs? That's a harder one to answer. My date, and it's only a personal preference, as I don't listen to Christmas music too early. The 1st of December is usually my start date. When is the right time to eat mince pies? All year round, with as much alcohol-laced cream as you can cope with. Now, I actually have quite strong opinions on Christmas music because I'm a musician with a small m. And there are lots of different kinds of Christmas music. There are Christmas songs like White Christmas or Frosty the Snowman. But when it comes to the songs we use for worship in church, it can get complicated. When I was a child, I didn't understand why we had two different groups of Christmas songs in our hymn book. One group of songs were early on in the hymn book, and they were the Christmas songs, and then tucked away at the back of the hymn book in a category all of their own were the Christmas carols. And when I was small, I couldn't understand why that was. The difference is, of course, is that the Christmas hymns are more historical or theological or literal. And the carols are they're just a bit more quirky. And I actually like quirky. I mean, carols can be anything like Jesus Christ, the apple tree. That makes you use your imagination, doesn't it? Or, I don't know, I saw 3 ships come sailing by on Christmas Day in the morning. There's no mention in the scriptures of 3 ships. It's just a quirky artistic take, a different way to tell the story. Now here's the thing. Today is the first Sunday in the season of Advent, and Advent is not Christmas. Advent is the season of getting ready, the season of looking forward to, the season of watching and waiting. And we have our Advent hymns and carols too. Lovely songs like Come Thou Long Expected Jesus, or Lo He Comes with Clouds Descending, or my favourite for Advent, O come, Emmanuel. It isn't Christmas, but Christmas is coming. Today I asked Grace and Russell if they would do one of my favourite carols for Advent, O come, Emmanuel. It's a Portuguese tune from the 15th century, but we reckon that the words were penned by a monk or a priest about 1200 years ago. It's certainly got a monastic, monkish kind of feel to it. It's simple and it's repetitive. It's verging on mournful, but it's also hopeful, and I think quite beautiful. O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. Here's Grace and Russell to sing.
The make safe the way that leads on high, and close the path to misery. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thy Lord of might, who to thy tribes on Sinai's height in ancient times did keep the law. In cloud and majesty and awe, rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
Originally, apparently, the song was of the type called an antiphon. In other words, it was split up in how it was sung. One person or one group would sing one part, and another person or another group would respond. Originally, it had 7 verses. One verse was meant to be sung each day of the week in the lead up to Christmas. But its real quality, this song, not just in a musical sense, but as a worship tool, as something that we can use to help us get ready for celebrating the Christmas. I mean, Frosty the Snowman and Jingle Bells have their place. I love to play them at parties. But in terms of helping us reflect and get our hearts and minds ready for Christmas, O come, Emmanuel, it's just up there with the best. So who or what was Emmanuel? Well, there's this Old Testament prophecy from the book of Isaiah about God acting in a supernatural way. We read of strange things, a virgin birth, someone born with an unusual name. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel. Now, Emmanuel has a very specific meaning. It means simply God with us. We sometimes have this view of God as being removed, far off. But with the coming of Jesus, who was Emmanuel, God steps literally into our human history. Verse 1 of the song pleads with God to come and do something to help in our world, to intervene, to ransom captives, to rescue, to help, because we are lost. We're mourning in lonely exile until the Son of God appears. It's a heartfelt prayer to God to come to our world and make the wrong things right. It's a very appropriate prayer, isn't it, for all that our whole world is currently going through, with so much darkness and angst and even hopelessness all around us. We could do with the peace of God in our midst, the assurance that God is still with us. The world we live in has always had a dark side. And the message of Advent is that we wait for God to make his presence known, as he did 2,000 years ago when he stepped into our history in the person of Jesus. He brought light, and he brought hope, and he brought rescue, and he brought peace. Jesus is Emmanuel, God with us. It is dark out there. There's no denying that. And more than anything, in this Advent season, we need the light of God. We need God to somehow or other come and help and rescue. We need his wisdom. We need his hope. And we need his joy. O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. In just a few weeks, those of us who identify as Christ followers will celebrate his coming to be with us, even in the dark times. But for now, though, through this lovely season of Advent, we just wait.